Well, let's head now to Sisala East. What was expected to be a bumper harvest season for farmers in the municipality of the Upper West region has rather turned into a period of intense hardship as thousands of bags of maize remain stuck in warehouses across the country and in that area especially. Some farmers have been left with no option but to store their produce in the open. As available storage spaces are already filled to the brim, all efforts to secure buyers have proven futile, while the few traders willing to buy are taking advantage of the situation to exploit the farmers with very low prices. Fatal Bayaga visited the area and filed this report.
The farmers are not only devastated by the situation, but are also discouraged from continuing large-scale commercial maize farming. From the municipal capital to the most remote parts of the municipality, farmers are left in limbo, with their bags of maize sitting idle and yearning for the market.
Behind me, you see bags of maize here in Tumu in the Upper West region. Farmers here say they are struggling to sell these produce, and that is affecting their daily lives.
Commercial farmers in the Upper West region, including the 2025 Upper West Best Woman Farmer, Damata Yusuf, say the losses incurred during the farming season are enormous due to the poor sales.
Last year, at this time, maize was 500 Ghana cedis a bag. That's 100 kg. But this year, like this, even 300 you will not get. 300 Ghana cedis for the 100 kg, you will not get. And during the time of planting, we bought fertilizer about 420 Ghana cedis.
I have already incurred losses this farming season. Even though I am yet to sell my bags of maize, the current market price is a clear indication that I will lose a significant amount of money.
Just even to get money to even bring those items to the household is even a challenge for us now. How will I be happy to go in for next year harvest? It's a problem. So I don't know. Many people will drop out from the farming this year.
Farmers are also grappling with harvesting challenges as laborers who usually assist with harvesting have left the area for other places due to the low price of maize.
We have seen that. Why should I come and work and take one bag of maize? Then I'm going to sell 250 or 300. That's why now, this year, they left us and ran back to Northern region and then Northeast.
This year, we couldn't get laborers to help us do harvesting.
Why?
Because of the low price of maize. Maize, okay. The price is low. So the women at Ape said the prices are not good, so they will not come.
Government initially allocated 100 million cedis to the National Buffer Stock Company to address the glut and later made an additional allocation of 200 million cedis in the 2026 budget statement. However, farmers say they are yet to see any impact.
Earlier on, I heard that government have even given money to some aggregators to buy, but we've not seen them around this area. We've not seen any aggregator this year, so we are asking the government to come to our aid. If not, maybe he will lose farmers the way we Upper West here or in Tumu here normally do the farming.
We never enjoy anything from the buffer stock. So I'll plead the government. Once they wanted to give buffer stock things to buy, they have to do it regional basis. Especially maize. You know, maize, you have to assess and know if they're going to buy maize. And they're doing regional basis. People know that if the money comes to Upper West, Sisala West, East, and West East, we all benefit more from that money.
The Member of Parliament for the Sisala East constituency, Mohammed Issa Bataglia, says he is convinced the government is committed to addressing the challenges raised by the farmers.
Trust me, I'm sure John Dramani Mahama, being the president, being the farmer himself, understands these issues very well. And most of the Minister of Agriculture has been welcoming and has taken a lot of steps to make sure that the suffering of most farmers has been alleviated. But I believe strongly that the President is focused on this, and we have this problem resolved for our people.
He also notes that to further ease the challenges facing farmers in the area, government has begun the construction of roads under the Big Push initiative to facilitate the transportation of farm produce.
Most farmers are struggling to be able to bring their farm produce to the various market centers. I'm sure in the next few years, we will be smiling, thanking President Muhammad and his minister and the entire team for the good work being done for the Sisala land in terms of road network.
The farmers are also demanding a ban on the importation of grains, particularly maize, to protect local farmers.
What we want government to do for us is first, they should stop importation. They import a lot of maize into the country since last year to this year, and still they are still importing the maize.
Okay. What we are pleading to the government, the government should know that the importation of the maize is too much. Because you know, when you have your own people, the poor people who are farmers and farm the maize, country will have the maize in the house, no even buyer.
Farming, which remains the main livelihood of people in the area, is gradually becoming unattractive to residents who once depended on it. Government intervention, they say, is therefore crucial to salvaging the situation. For JoyNews, Fatal Bayaga, Tumu, Upper West Region.
Well, it's a good time now to examine the agri sector. You recall the Nkukong Kitim initiative that was introduced by this government. Agriculture was one of the key sectors of the NDC. They pledged to prioritize the agri sector. They promised to boost production, strengthen the value chain, and create jobs. 1 year into this administration, we're assessing the agri sector. We want to find out what exactly they've done so far. How is the Nkukong Kitim initiative performing? Joining me via Zoom is Awawa Piao Adugwala. He is the national president of the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana. We appreciate your time here on The Pulse. I'd like to start with your personal assessment of this administration's performance, especially in the agri sector 1 year on.
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you. And good afternoon to your listeners. Yeah, as farmers, if you look at our assessment of the sector, we will have a mixed reaction about what has happened in the last 1 year. Of course, to begin with, last year we have had a number of fertilizers that were distributed to our members, distributed across the country by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. The peasant farmers received some fertilizer, and of course, fertilizer was equally distributed across the country. As we received the fertilizer, of course, much of it went into production. So now our biggest challenge, which we have known since last year, is that we have been able to produce enough rice, we have been able to produce enough meat, but there is no market. And government assurance of bringing buffer stock company to be able to buy the surplus from us, we are yet to see that come into reality. So the biggest headache we are having at the moment is that we have so much meat, we still have so much fatty rice that we are unable to sell in the market. And of course, as we all know, we have a lot of importation. We have a lot of imported rice coming into the country. Some is passing through the porous borders from our neighboring countries. And of course, let me even be quick to add that much of this rice that comes to the country, if you look at the quality, much of it is of low quality compared to the nutritious local rice that we produce in this country. But we are unable to find market for it. So it's been a mixed year for us. We thank the ministry for the supply of fertilizer. However, we are unable to sell what we produce. And when that happens, what it means is that we are going to run at a cost, at a loss, looking at the cost of production, and we will not be able to sustain our businesses going forward.
But has government at least gotten in touch with the association and members? Because we know that they earmarked some amount for the purchase of some of these produce as a result of the glut.
Yeah, well, the announcement was made by the president himself. Of course, the Minister of Food and Agriculture have equally made that announcement. But the last time we were hearing from the minister was that, of course, this is government money. It has to go through procurement processes. before the money will be released for buffer stock company to buy the farm produce from us. And as we speak, we are yet to see those who have been given contracts. We are yet to see people who have been awarded contracts on the ground buying the paddy rice. We still have a lot of rice, particularly in northern Ghana. You come to central region, all across the place. Our members still have enough rice. We have enough maize, go to Tumu, and so many other places in the country. So as long as what our members want to see is that those who have been given contracts are on the ground, buying the farm produce from them so that they can recover the cost. At least they'll be able to recover something to go into production next year or this year. Of course, we are in a new year to be able to go into production. So we are still expecting that much has to be done. The announcement was, we received that as a positive news, but we are yet to see the reality on the ground. That is what we are waiting for. And that is what is more important to us as farmers. And of course, we will also be expecting to see some of the promises in the budget. Of course, it was even in the government manifesto. The farmer service centers, will expect to see them dotted across the country so that as farmers, we can have access to farm machinery like the power tillers, the tractors, and other. We are yet to see all those things on the ground. So we hope that government, of course, Ministry of Finance will release the amount that has been promised the Ministry of Food and Agriculture for all these policies to be implemented. But what we need as a matter of agency is for the buffer stock company to come to the ground and buy the paddy rice and buy the maize, stop the farmers, so that we can make some money and get inputs to be able to go into this year's production. Otherwise, many farmers are going to run at a loss. As I'm even speaking to you.
So you haven't started this year's production yet? Is that the case?
Pardon?
You haven't started this year's production yet?
Of course, we have entered a new year, and it depends on the geographical location that you are in the country. Those who are at irrigation fields are able to plant as soon as they harvest. There are others too, much of Ghana, we depend on the rain-fed agriculture. As we speak, if you go to northern Ghana, like I said, people have harvested so much, they need to sell to be able to plan for this year's production. So if they are not able to sell the rice, it's going to be a big problem for them.
And what do you want to change, really, for the year 2026? What do you want to see changed in this year 2026, especially for the farming sector? Exactly.
So going forward, what I want to see is that buffer stock should be up and doing, and like you said, what has been announced in the budget, that policy directive that government institutions like the public schools and the rest should be buying, they have to source their food locally from the farmers. We want to see that policy implemented to the latter. It should not only just be a directive. We should reach a stage where contracts should not be given to people to travel outside Ghana to go and buy rice for the school feeding program. We have enough rice in this country. So all those who have been awarded contract want to see government follow up on that directive. That if you have been awarded contract to purchase rice or maize for the school feeding program, you must source it locally from the farmers. And that policy should be followed through. And we even want government to rope in other public institutions while you are funded with taxpayers' money. And then you have the opportunity to be able to purchase food for your organization or institution. Then it should be locally sourced from the farmers. And moving forward, government should also be looking at the importation, how we allow all kinds of rice and then other food products, produce to come into this country. Going forward, we should be able to limit on the importation of these things in order to create market for our farmers. Of course, we'll be looking at having access to credit facilities at reasonable interest rates so that the farmers will be able to produce enough. And these are some of the things that we are looking forward and expect that at least resources should be made available so that farmers will be able to do the. Mind you, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture have a policy of letting Ghana become self-sufficient in rice production. So if we are to become self-sufficient in rice production and our local farmers are producing and they cannot sell the rice, and we depend so much on imports, on importation of rice, and which is not being sold in the market and our own farmers cannot sell, how does Ghana achieve that status of becoming self-sufficient in rice production when the local farmers are not able to sell their rice? It means that policy goal is going to be defeated by what is happening currently. So we want to see all these policies implemented. And of course, as farmers, we are stakeholders in agriculture. we are ready to engage government and to provide any support that will be required for us to be able to move forward to match agriculture and improve agriculture and let Ghana become self-sufficient in food production. That is the goal of the farming.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wapal, for your time here on The Pulse.